What are feedback loops? Feedback loops are how our body turns things on and turns things off. It either drives something to a conclusion, or it's starting to just like, hey, we need to chill out, go get a little bit closer to homeostasis. An example of a positive feedback loop is birth. The uterus is pushing, and then it gets oxytocin, goes to the brain, and then that actually triggers the uterus to push harder and push more. So there's this feedback loop of, oh, push, 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 until the baby is out. Also in a stress response, when the stress response goes, oh, I should run away as fast as I can. One very common version of this that we see a lot in our lives is the dopamine cycle. The dopamine goes into our body and it rewards us for doing the action or doing that thing, and then we are rewarded and driven to repeat that, creating that feedback loop, positive feedback loop, more, and more of that thing. A negative feedback loop is calming something down, turning it off. Sweating is a form of a negative feedback loop. The body has gotten too hot, we start sweating to release and flow everything down. Now, what happens when we look at myofascial release when it comes to feedback loops? Well, this is one of the main ways we're looking at and how a lot of science is starting to understand myofascial release. It's the communication. And myofascial release in many ways is a negative feedback loop for tension and stress in the body. It's shifting it down. Because when we look at the dominance, let's get moving, when our body goes into the sympathetic, it adds more and more tension. It's that positive feedback loop of let's get things done, let's go for it, and it builds physical tension in the body. So sympathetic activation and physical tension in the body, which leads to stress, fear, cuts off fluid flow. There's a lot of negative things that happen when we're stuck in that sympathetic state. But what happens when we do myofascial release? So what myofascial release does is there's a tension that we do, a stretch tension. It's different than regular massage, which is very like oil compressive. This is a tension that is being held, and that engages with specific mechanoreceptors in the body that trigger that fascia to release. In just the same way that if we change how we breathe, we can change heart rate. Our heart rate is connected to our breath. Our emotions and our level of how stimulated we are is also connected to our physiology. If we're really highly stimulated, it's going to express in the body. For example, think of an angry thought. Probably have some tension already in the shoulders. Think of a joyous or playful thought. Oh, starting to have some looseness and openness. When we're able to trigger the response of releasing in the fascial tissues, we're actually sending signals of safety and calm up to the brain. So we're sending that signal as like, oh, we can release. And then the brain starts to release. So it starts a loop where it's releasing and shifting from that sympathetic to the parasympathetic, from tension to opening, which the value of that is it brings fluid flow through the body, which helps clear out inflammatory signals. It helps bring in nutrients and take out other wastes. So that's the beauty when we get fluid flow. And also the beauty when we can trigger that shifting, that calming space in the nervous system. And it also really shifts awareness into the body. But yeah, just to tune in that the feedback loops that we're doing are helping us take to homeostasis, help us keep in that really beautiful Goldilocks zone so the body isn't spinning out of control. Because that's what happens when we get too deep into a positive feedback loop, is the body can be dysregulated. It can be the same as like a car spinning its tires, going too fast, too much heat. And our body uses those negative feedback loops to keep it in balance, to keep it in control. And that's one beautiful way that myofascial release helps that process, because we're taking the body back in within parameters, doing things that trigger the body to calm itself down, to open up, to allow flow.